As many of you know, rap music often promotes gang culture and violence, and they glorify it to a point where you think it's actually cool to be a gangbanger. But what happens when the reality of this lifestyle finally sets in? Tonight we're going to talk about oblock Louie, a guy who has to walk around society now looking like a monster, with his deformed head that has the internet ablaze. People are calling him names like the T-1000 from Terminator 2. I've even seen comments saying that his head looks like the inside of a Hot Pocket after 3 minutes in the microwave. Let's dive into the story of how oblock Louie went from a regular young man involved in gang culture to now walking around like a circus freak, scaring all the women and children in our society. To illustrate the origins of oblock Louie's head, we must go back to the fateful night of November 6, 2020. The events that took place in the gayest part of America, Atlanta, Georgia, sent devastating shockwaves through the hip-hop world when an associate of oblock Louie, a well-known up-and-coming rapper by the name of King Vong, was tragically gunned down. Before that fateful night, King Vong was taking the rap world by storm. His vivid storytelling illustrating the gang violence and the murders done by him and his associates in the streets of Chicago had fans captivated. They were hypnotized. Besides his uncanny ability to take murder and crime and shootings and gang violence and package it into a cool rap song, a large part of King Vong's appeal came from the fact that he was actually out there killing people, with having some people actually calling King Vong a serial killer. So, as you would imagine, a person who works so hard and relies so heavily on their reputation can't just let that reputation go to shit. It didn't matter that King Vong was now a multi-millionaire, successful, well-known rapper. His hood nigga reputation is extremely important. So the events leading to King Vong's death unfolded outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in downtown Atlanta. The situation began as a verbal altercation in the parking lot, which escalated into a physical confrontation. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and various other media reports, the altercation quickly turned violent, which individuals from both groups began to exchange gunfire. During the chaos, two off-duty Atlanta police officers who were working security for the establishment, along with an on-duty officer who was patrolling nearby, responded to the incident. And ladies and gentlemen, we're about to see the origin story of oblock Louie's infamous head, because it happened at this moment. The police officers arrived on the scene, and they saw a whole bunch of ruthless thugs recklessly shooting at each other with their guns tilted to the side. And that's when they decided, we have to put an end to this. And they blasted oblock Louie right in the forehead. Oblock Louie, along with another ruthless thug from his gang, was rushed to the hospital. And I have to admit, I have some concern as to why the doctors decided not to treat oblock Louie properly. From what I hear, the doctors didn't even bother to put his cranium back together. They just gave poor old oblock Louie a couple stitches and sent him on his way back home, with half of his head melted off. Now by this point, the infamous rapper King Vong was pronounced dead at the hospital. So we go back to my opening statement. The lifestyle promoted by these good-for-nothing thugs has consequences. King Vong is now dead. His kids don't have a father. And oblock Louie will now live the rest of his life looking like Sloth from the Goonies. Let this be a message to you all, boys and girls.